Here we have a used 2017 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. This one comes in the 2LT trim level in Long Beach red metallic. And then we have jet black perforated leather interior. And that powertrain consists of a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine made into an 8-speed automatic transmission. This one has just a little over 15,000 miles on it. To the front end here, we have our LED daytime running lights and HID headlamps. Love the look of these C7 Corvettes though. And as we come around to the wheels here, these are 18-inch aluminum, and I love that chrome finish. Just looks super, super sleek. Now we get passive keyless entry. And then to the door panel here, one touch automatic up and down windows, memory seats, power door lock controls. We get that Bose sound system. And here's the release to open the door. You have a little storage in that pocket there. And then if you're ever trapped and you don't have any power within the vehicle, you just pull up here to get out of it. And then here's our power driver seat with power lumbar support. Fuel fillers there. To the rear end here, now we do have the Z51 performance package, which is a necessity, I think. Gives you that performance exhaust there. And if you want to open the trunk from the back, button right there. And there we have the cargo space, which is actually a pretty good sized trunk, I think. And then you can actually just soft close this, so push it down and it'll lock for you. But I mean, just a menacing exhaust. And then the tail lamps are LED. And then the front passenger seat, same adjustability as that driver's side. Controls, if you want to control the AC from here instead of going all the way to the radio. Heated, cooled seats. Glove compartment, pretty decent size for a car like this. Now I'm gonna go back around and pop the hood. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna show you where the power mirror controls are. So you can hit either side or offset, and then you can adjust there. And then the release is back in here. And there's that 6.2 liter V8. Let's go ahead and hop in here. It's pretty cold outside. Now, one other thing I want to mention is if you ever want to turn your parking sensors off, hit that button. And you can also open the trunk from up here by hitting that. And then heads-up display controls. And we do have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. There's the horn. And to the radio here, we do get AM, FM, XM radio. We can toggle between those just by hitting this radio button. And then we also have Bluetooth audio. And then we have wired CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility as well. Now this one has the camera system. So you have these curbside views here, so you can kind of see, make sure you're not about to hit this on a barrier or something like that, pulling into a parking space. And then you also have that kind of bird's eye view to make sure you can actually see how close you're getting to what's in front of you. So there's that parking line there, and you can see it's a very, very in-depth look there. So I love that. Backup cameras there with the guidelines. And there are all of the apps there, excuse me. And then in your settings, you can go ahead and toggle some of these selections, including your language, and then vehicle settings, etc. And you can hit that menu button within each app to pull up your options there. But down here, we have the single zone automatic climate controls. And again, this is for, I think I messed up earlier. This is for the driver's side, and that's why you have those buttons over there for the front passenger. So you can control everything here, and then if for whatever reason your front passenger wants to change, they adjust that on their end. Otherwise, you can sync it there at all times and have it all go in the same direction with the same temperature. And fan speed can be adjusted over here. There's a 12 volt. Now to shift the 8-speed, just pull the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, manual, And then you can use these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel to shift your gears. And then your drive modes can be adjusted here. So you have the weather, eco, tour, sport, track mode. And then you can toggle your traction control by hitting that button. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. Bottle holders are here, we can shut those off. Now, we have a garage door transmitter here, but we can also take the top off if you want to pull these on either side, and then you just press this in right here, and then you can pop the top off. Then you basically just go in reverse to put it back. There's the space behind the seat. And then you have a little center console tray here, 2 USB-A ports, and aux input, and then another 12 volt. Now back to the steering wheel, we have our blinkers here. And then we can toggle the high beams there, flash there, low beam, corners, auto. We can toggle the auto mode on or off there. And then the windshield wiper controls are here, one time off, intermittent, low, high. We can adjust our intermittent here, and then we just pull up here for the front wiper fluid. And then cruise control, adjust speed for that, cancel. And we can go through our gauge cluster right in here. So we have several different views we can choose from. And then if we go back in here, we have the performance pages there. And we have all those different options. So it's really fun to fool with this thing, honestly. But in the options menu here, you can change your units from US to metric if you so choose, and also the display theme. And it's a lot going on here. So again, you can adjust it quite a bit. Now the heads up display is right there. So you can adjust what info is being shown. And then you can adjust the brightness and the position on the actual windshield there. But favorites can be toggled. You can also use this to go through your track list. But you can see the audio favorites saved here. And then your volume controls right here. And then behind the screen, you have a little storage area with a USB port. So you can toggle that up and down. Hazards are there. There's your push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. And next is go ahead and take this C7 Corvette 2LT out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Corvette Stingray, if you can tell by the camera angle, it's angled down quite a bit, and it's really because being 6'3", I can fit in here, but just how the roof line is and everything, it's very hard to see out of, and where the hood kind of intrudes my space and the windshield's a little bit thinner, I guess the length of it is smaller, it's kind of harder to see. But I'm gonna give it some throttle here. And a quick car, you can see I didn't even give it that much. And this is one of those things where if you're turning at all out of a corner, this thing wants to slide. And it makes it very fun, but it also makes it just a tad bit dangerous. So my recommendation is you never take the traction control off of these unless you're on a controlled course or something like that, because it could be detrimental. And the traction control system in this is very good. If you try and floor it and get it sideways, it usually will correct for you. But if you do try and drift this with the traction control, you might end up getting yourself in some trouble. So that's why the traction control button is right here on the side. For whatever reason, if you want to go ahead and just start sliding this on its own, as opposed to having the traction control system engaged. But wind noise is actually very good in here, even with the removable top. And also the ride quality is fantastic, especially for something that's this low to the ground. It's very comfortable. Now it's still a stiff ride because it is a sports car, a true sports car, but it's not choppy, if that makes sense. Now with the used car market kind of settling down a little bit, I feel like it's a good time to buy one of these. Now with that being said, this is probably going for the same amount of money that it was going for pre-COVID. even though it's several years older. But I mean, it's still just a great car in terms of performance, in terms of ride quality, and then in terms of this basically being a midlife crisis machine. And it really is a big time cure for that, I think, because these are just such hogs in terms of just how fast they are, how cool they look, and just how much fun they are to drive in general. And having that removable top just makes it kind of a convertible hybrid, which is why I always preferred these over the convertibles, just because I can take this off and I'm not having too much wind noise coming in. It's still comfortable, but I'm also having that open top experience. I'm gonna put in the manual mode. Actually, you can put it in the manual mode and you have a true manual mode with the paddle shifters where it won't shift for you, but you can also just start shifting on the fly. And then if you want to take it out of that mode, just hold that plus paddle there and you can go back into automatic. But a very good just overall car, whether you're commuting or taking it on a long road trip or just driving it around town running errands. I feel like this is the best of all three of those put together. And it's not a supercar like the C8, but it is a sport touring vehicle in my opinion. And that's why I believe these are still relevant even today. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2017 Corvette Stingray 2LT with the Z51 package.